Okay, I'm going to give you some tips for the sun salutations. There's always going to be issues with transitioning from one position to another, especially when we're beginning, and it all just takes time, I'm afraid. And I just try and help you with the best tips and cues that I can. Looking on YouTube is always a good idea because there's loads of people offering their experience. But yeah, I'll just give you a couple of tips here to help with a couple of those transitions. So let's begin. First of all, just a reminder with the mountain pose. Mountain pose is usually feet together and traditionally with the palms down by the sides and open. And it's a lovely pausing pose, gives you an opportunity to just get yourself back into that place of stillness. So that's where we are traditionally. Options with that, if it feels too unbalanced, is to have the feet hip distance apart. And then with the sun salutations, you'll see that I'm using the palms at heart center, the Anjali Mudra, this is called. Okay, next up we go from, so we are rising up, inhaling up. So remembering that the inhale is usually lengthening and lifting. Exhale, swan diving down. And then we go back into the downward dog. So with that downward dog, a couple of things here. With the downward dog, we're going to be going through into the plank. So if your downward dog is too short, by that I mean the distance between your hand and your feet, if it's too short, if you then try and go forward, there's not enough space for your body to go. So my tip here is to take the hands out long and make it a long downward dog. Then onto the tiptoes, transfer the body weight forward. When you're in plank, we don't have the hips down and we don't have them up. We go for that neutral position. That's your plank. So it's good just to have a little explore here, going from downward dog into plank, working out where you need the arms to be for your body. Everyone's got different lengths of arms, legs, body length. You know, we've just got to work it out what's just right for us. So hopefully that might help you with creating the length there. So bringing that weight forward into the plank, remembering that you don't have to go into a full plank. You can always just bring the knees down straight away. And then you start to lower the body down, untuck the toes, lowering the belly, chest, forehead to the mat. Thinking about these arms here, they're below the shoulders, roughly next to the breast, and the elbows don't wave out there. Keep them tucked in, shoulders are back away from the neck. So the next transition is coming all the way up. Now that can be quite challenging there, so it's really good to engage your core muscles, tucking the toes under. And even in the mini cobra, you can even clench the bottom to support the back there. So that's the mini cobra. It's just a small lift. If there's any pain in that lower back, don't go there. Just keep it nice and low. So you touch your toes, and then we start to push up, push the front of the body, gradually engaging the core, bringing that back, and we come into a child's pose with the toes still tucked because it's only temporary here. forehead to the mat. Keep the hands out long. So you want to keep that space, remember, when we come up into the downward dog. So you've got that very temporary child's pose. Keep the hands there, coming up into the downward dog. So this is the one where it can be quite a challenge to get the foot forward. So if I just do it, I can get it to there. It's not too bad. So that's what we were working with last week. We said, let's just try using that technique and see how far we get. It's not always that far. So the technique that I shared with you was to bring the leg up into the three-legged dog, create a bit of height by bringing yourself onto your tiptoes of that opposite foot, then bend the knee, look forward where you want the foot to go, and then bring the foot forward. So you'll see you can get quite a bit further. And just remember, this is a whole process. It's going to take time, so you've got to be there in the mind, body, and breath. So as you come through, sometimes an exhale can really help drive that through and create that space as well. If that is just not working at all, which is absolutely fine, you can always go from downward dog onto all fours and then bring the foot forward. And from there you can lift so you find yourself in your low lunge. So it's just another way of getting there basically that might work for you. That's one option. And yeah, so the other thing you can do, so you're in downward dog, you've tried this three-legged dog but it's not going very far. The other thing you can do is maybe you might need a bit of space, so bring the foot to the outside, and I'll show you that on the left side as well so it's a bit clearer. Downward dog, three-legged dog, and then bring the foot forward that way. And then you can always adjust that when you're there. So we've gone through a few different variations there. If none of them are working either, please always consider blocks. I didn't use blocks for years. I don't know why, I was just kind of scared of them. Silly, but I really recommend them because especially when you're beginning and you need that extra space, the blocks can give you that. So when you use the blocks, make sure that the wrists are in line as they would be on the floor, not coming out to the sides. Keep them straight. Keep them on the mat so they've got grip. So we go up into our downward dog, and you can see that downward dog, I've got a bit more space now. So inhaling that leg up, looking forward, and then you've just got a little bit extra space. So you can experiment there with either side of the block. And obviously at home, if you don't have blocks, then you could possibly try with books to give you a bit of height there. Yeah, so a few tips there for transitioning into plank, from downward dog to plank, downward dog to lunge. Let's have a look. So we've come through three-legged dog, look forward, create the space, bring it forward, find ourselves in there. Yeah, and then you're going to be bringing that back foot forward. So that can feel quite challenging as well. And all of it's really working into the bottom there. It's quite really good exercise here. So making sure you feel stable before you come forward. If you're not stable, then you've got an idea of possibly falling over. So push into that left foot and then kind of bend into the knee and then bring that forward. And you're going straight into a deep forward bend there. So you've got a nice bend into the knees. Obviously, as you get more advanced, you'll have more straighter knees and be able to go down like that. But just protecting the back best you can. Your halfway lift, inhaling up, and then you're imagining that cord all the way from the coccyx through the spine, out through the crown. Feel that length. That's on an inhale you come up, and then exhale all the way back down. Let the head hang down here. Try not to hold it up. Just enjoy that moment of release. And then we push through the feet, bend into the knees, inhale. And when I say uncurling the back, it's like you've got that back there, and then we're gradually bringing that tailbone so it's neutral looking down, coming up, inhaling, bringing the hands up to the sky. We say the sun because it's a sun salute. And there you've got an option of going into a very slight back bend there. So feel it in the core, feel it in the back, slight back bend. Exhaling it back down to the Anjali Mudra at the heart space. And when you're in between, taking that moment in that mountain pose, be really mindful, because I do it automatically. I'm sure some of you do as well. You just start kind of having a little fiddle about with your leggings or your jumper, whatever it is. Try and be in the moment for as long as possible, not fiddling about with those things. It doesn't matter what you look like. This is a sensation experience. We're really mindful. We're working with the body. It's a fabulous sequence, and I hope that those tips help you. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. So let me know. All right, take care. Bye.